All right. Let's see who's in here first. What's going on, the gaming? Irish, what's going on? About an hour stream today. What's going on? The normal suspects. Charles, Marie, Christina, what's up? Guys, I literally just stopped working. Hopped on here. 9 to 5 had me working more like 9 to 9 today. Straight transition into weather. This is the fun work, though. I don't really consider this work. This is just fun. Was able to squeeze out a video, though. Yeah, 9 to 9. What's up, Brett? Yeah, Charles. You see what's going on in this? I mean, you know, again, I don't think we're gonna see two nor'easters like the end of this run sees, but very interesting. You know, listen, we had this last close nor'easter trend east. Imagine if this thing trends east. Imagine if this thing trends east. You know, very interesting look there. What's behind it is even more interesting. Going into the third week potentially of March, the European has some interesting stuff as well happening. What's going on, guys? The European has snow as well returning. Potentially a big snowstorm for the Midwest, Central Plains, and then what is going on down here with the Euro, right? There's some snow wanting to move into the south again on the Euro. Charlotte, Atlanta, Nashville. We'll see. Not impossible with the setup we have, but I told you guys as we get into March, late into that first week of March, around March 4th, March 5th, pattern's going to pick back up again for us. First one looks pretty strong for the Pittsburgh area. Yeah, it depends what model you're looking at. You've got, yeah, if the GFS ends up being, you know, being more correct here, yeah, pretty far out. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to this. But this would be a ton of snow for Pittsburgh if all of this were to play out. That'd be like snow. This would be a big mid-Atlantic storm, actually. This would be a huge Pittsburgh storm, right? Pretty far out, though, so we're going to wait a little bit while longer. Getting closer, though. What do temps look like for Sunday in Charlotte Metro? What's going on, everyone? Well, you know what? For that, let's go to our Euro 18Z. Gets a little cool. Middle of the day. Looks like Charlotte's high might be around. I don't know if you get out of the 40s on Sunday in Charlotte. I don't think you get out of the 40s in Charlotte on Sunday. Maybe mid 40s. I don't think New York City will get any more snow. It's 50 degrees. J Fried, that'll change soon. We got major cool air moving into. You can see what wants to happen out here over the weekend. This would be Saturday going into Sunday. Look at these temps moving down into New York City. Potentially getting down to the low 20s, high teens. Winter's not over, believe me. We've got a few more big winter kind of Arctic outbreaks that want to happen. Maybe 2 or 3 in March. On average, historically, you get the last big freeze in this central portion of the U.S., including New York City. On average, if you were to take a look at the last 100 years, when does your last big freeze come? Meaning the last time you get a big kind of Arctic air mass that puts you in the freezing, below freezing. That typically comes in the beginning of April. That typically happens at the beginning of April. Is typically when you guys have your last freeze. That's why you have a chance. That's why we've seen major nor'easters up before, up in the Mid-Atlantic, in New England. Even as far as to the end of March. Typically, your last good chance at a big snowstorm is going to be somewhere in mid-March, but we've seen big snow up there in this region, late March, beginning of April too, some years, just because that's typically when you have the last big freeze Just on average, over if you were to look at the last 100 years, when does that last freeze typically happen? So, you know, you would say we've probably got about 40 days left of cold air, snow potential, wintry-like weather for that portion. We've probably got about closer to 50 days, or sorry, probably closer to 70 to 80 days for winter up here. You probably got closer to 30 days for winter down here. Winter-like conditions. There are some models that do want to bring temperatures, freezing air close back down to the south again. We'll look at some of that. You know, people get a little bit of a warm up moving into March and they think winter's over. It's just far, 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 far from the truth. I mean, we can see what's happening here. These are not feels like temperatures. These are actual temperatures looking out here on our Euro. And our freezing line is pretty far south here. If we were to go and look at what our wind chills are here as we move out in the Euro, you know, this is not spring-like weather, right? This is not spring-like weather. So your winter's not over. We're going to have some more intermediate warm-ups because we're getting closer to spring, meaning a lot of these big cool downs are going to be followed by big warm-ups. I mean, for much of the country right now, we're like anywhere from 10 to 30 degrees above average. It was beautiful today in Philly. High of 58. I loved walking back from work. It was nice. Sunny. But we're still going to have some mega chills. We're still going to get some snow potentially. At least down into the central U.S. We'll see. You know, southern snow's tough to get in March. It's not impossible. The Euro wants to bring some snow potentially back down towards Atlanta and Charlotte. Will it happen? We'll see. That would be kind of a late second week of March event. But I know everyone gets that feeling as soon as it starts to warm up that your winter's over. We can see what the Euro wants to do here. Some snow for the Rockies moving into the beginning of next week, and potentially a big snowstorm for the Midwest. I will tell you this. The GFS has this system farther out east through here. Okay? The GFS pulls this out here. The Euro pulls this here. What we do have, and the Canadian kind of splits it, what we do have is model consensus on a winter storm, cold air falling in a winter storm middle of next week. Both models do also see this second storm here. Okay? The Euro brings this second winter storm very far south. I mean, it brings snow like down here. The GFS actually brings this storm farther to the north, putting snow more through this region, farther to the north. So lots of different things we have to look at. And this would be a major drop in cold air right here. You can see this. Let's take a look at what our jet stream wants to do here. I'll get to questions in chat in a second. This would be some. I mean, this is a positively tilted trough, so this wouldn't be like this wouldn't probably coming with any sort of severe weather or anything like that. But that would eject some pretty cold air down into the States, or down into the southeast. Sorry, look at that. Look at our temperature anomalies if that were to happen down in the southeast. We're talking about temperatures in Florida, 20 to 30 degrees below average potentially. Look at the southeast. And that would be in the second week of March. So all you down here that think you've seen the end of winter, we'll see. We'll see about that. We'll see. Maybe. That's not guaranteed to happen. That's pretty far out. But these type of events do still happen in March. I mean, this would put, feels like freezing temperatures down to almost central Florida. You'd be in the teens and almost single digits up here with wind chills. So not quite, like I said, not quite out of winter. We have to see we really have to watch what's going to happen between March 4th, really all the way through probably the third week of March when some cold air wants to collapse into the States. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's the chances of this nor'easter next week? A 1? I don't know. If it's not in forecasting range, it's never more than a 1. If it's outside of a 4-5, Micah, if it's outside of a 4 or 5 day, forecasting range, if it's outside of 120 hours, it's always going to be a 1 out of 10. It's always going to be a 5 to 10%. We can't you can't responsibly give it over a 5 to 10% chance if it's not within forecast range. But the Euro and GFS see two snowstorms moving out in that direction. So does the Canadian. They see one sweeping through, and then a few days later, they see another sweeping through. Which way do they go? We'll see. But the one thing we do have consensus on is both of those systems next week. Kind of middle of next week and next weekend. It's my son's birthday next Friday, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, oh, my God, so much cold air and snow out east. I have family coming into town who are from down south, and they are not ready for this cold air on my son's birthday or snow. We were getting ready. We were going to plan something maybe in our backyard because we're like March 7th. Maybe we'll be in the high 40s, 50s. We can wear sweaters, jacket. But it's starting to look like the high on his birthday might be like 32 degrees. So we'll have to see. That might ruin some things. We'll just do it inside. I appreciate that, Brett. This is pivotal weather, Bob. Or sorry, that you didn't ask that. Jesus Quint. This is pivotal weather. Pivotal weather. Did I just see snow in the south again? Yeah, the Euro likes the chance for some snow in the south again. We talked about this. Been talking about this. There have been years where you do get snow in the south as late as the second or third week of March. It's still possible to get a snowstorm or some snow showers down into the south. Can't discredit that quite yet. We've got to look at the Canadian. Here's our latest Canadian showing, some Clipper systems for New England. Here's our Canadian showing that with this first storm. Kind of likes what the Euro is doing better here, bringing this snow up and kind of into portions of the Midwest. The Canadian likes this through Minneapolis, Iowa, Wisconsin, southeastern Minnesota. I mean, so yeah, actually that's where the Canadian likes it. The Euro likes this more like this through Chicago, snow through Chicago, this area. The GFS likes it much farther out east, snow through here. So there's a lot of different things there. And the Canadian doesn't go out far enough to show us our second storm, which would be this low pressure system that wants to sweep down. I want to see if in tomorrow's model, if this brings it north or if this brings it south like the Euro. That'll be interesting to see how it handles it. What is our 12Z of our icon looking? How's our 12Z of our icon looking? Here's that big winter storm potential here. Potential severe weather next week as well. Need a more updated model for that. The GFS is going crazy with snow though. The GFS is going crazy with snow. GFS did a little bit better on our last winter storm actually. T-Dub, nor'eastern New Jersey. Well, the GFS thinks so, but again, it's too far out. We'll wait for some adjustments. This is what I was talking about, though. Look at the map. 1, 2. Does that happen like that? Probably not exactly like that. But do we still get signals and do we still have chances for big nor'easters in March? Of course we do. That's when all the biggest ones happen. Late February into March. So you need a little bit of luck on your side, but at least you have a signal there, right? My favorite hockey team is the Panthers. I grew up in South Florida. But my dad grew up in Connecticut playing hockey his whole life. So my dad put me in hockey when I was really young. I mean, I started playing roller hockey when I was like 4. And then I got into ice hockey. People don't realize South Florida has a huge ice hockey. Like ice hockey's big. Travel, high school. I mean, my high school had like varsity and JV hockey. We had in South Florida, there were 16 different teams that were in our high school varsity, or 16 to 20 in varsity and JV. It's pretty big. Right across from our school, I mean, you could basically throw a baseball and hit the ice rink is where the Panthers practice. And it was called Incredible Ice. And it was an ice rink with 3 different sheets of ice. It was 2 stories, 3 sheets of ice. It was massive. And it was across the street from my school in South Florida. So, and then we'd always play, when we got to states, we played in the Panthers Stadium. So I got to play in the Panthers Stadium a few times. So I've always been a diehard Panthers fan. So this was a great last year for me. Finally getting to see them win the Stanley Cup after just watching them be miserable my entire life. Yeah, finally. Out of all the teams I love, that was my most, that championship was probably my favorite of all the sports I like. And I just like the people on the team. I'm a big Tkachuk fan. Any more snow for Virginia Beach? Hey, potentially. Check out what happens here on the GFS too. I don't pay too much mind to this stuff, right? But out here, but just to show you the signals. if we were to get this kind of zonal flow with lots of cold air settling in down here, we could get some snowstorms along this Bear Clinic line right here. So, yes, potentially. I mean, that'd be, I think if we were to see any of that snow, it'd probably be a little bit farther north, but not impossible for Virginia Beach to see more snow with this pattern going into the second week of March. What's going on, Mezzo Matt? I think we got an SPC day 48 outlook coming soon. Very strong signals next week in severe weather. Yeah, what's going on, Matt? I want to compare some of this. The gaming. Sorry, YouTube. I feel like I ignored your chat for a little. The Connor's Weather Dungeon and Connor's Temperature Corner has joined the chat. Connor's Tornado Tundra is in here. What's going on, Brittany? Yeah, let me look at some of this. If the Euro's correct at 210 hours out, can Long Island see thunderstorms that day? I mean, if it's correct. All right, so here's what's going on here. Interesting day here. This would be a very interesting day here. This would be fun. This would be maybe one of those fun days, Matt, where you'd get severe weather, some flash flooding up front, and then snow in the back again. Just a nice little repeat for you. That's interesting. Some time for that to adjust. And then we've got, I could see us getting some. I want to see how models compare here. Let's go into our Euro. We were looking at the dew points the other day, and they look kind of wild. Let's go into our Euro. And this is a mean look from the Euro, keeping snow much farther to the north. Let's look at our dew points here. It's much more aggressive on the GFS. What do you think, Matt? Especially at the end of that run. This is interesting here. Matt, I think I'm pulling you into the stream. I hope you're ready. Appreciate the follows. Appreciate the subs, guys. Suzette, what's going on? I want to look at... Give me a second, guys. I want to look at what's going on with our weather. With our severe weather potential. Oh, I got to get into the 18Z. I wasn't in the 18Z. Here we go. That's what I was thinking I'd see. Next Wednesday. And then some real spooky stuff as we get late into the second week of March. We're not going to look too much into that, but that would be pretty crazy stuff there. Let me go back to our composite reflectivity. Here we go. Our future radar. If the Euro is right, can Long Island get some thunderstorms that day? Yeah, they could. They could. I'll go back to the Euro in a second. I want to give Matt a call. I want to get his opinion on this severe weather. Let's see if we can get him on the phone, chat. Let's see. All right, you're on stream. What are you thinking for our severe weather outlook here?
So, definitely the Sunday trough, the shortwave trough coming in on Sunday and Monday, hail and wind. Not really expecting a tornado risk out of Oklahoma and Texas for that. It's that I've watched the 18Z GFS and the 12Z today really lean more towards the 12Z Euro.
Are you talking about this Sunday?
Yeah, this coming Sunday.
Yeah, with that low developing over kind of Kansas, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I do like March 4th through the 6th there. Dixie Valley up in the Ohio Valley. Instability values have really grown today on both runs, both Euro and GFS, which makes me happy. Dew points have also gone up a little bit better, but the one I really want to watch, and this is 300 hours out, is that March 12th time frame, because That is the one where I'm thinking tornado outbreak potentially with.
Yeah, that's what I was
I think
talking.
we're going to get a couple of attempts here over the next week, but it's really that middle of the month time frame that I'm really watching.
I was talking to Chad about that. That's when we get some crazy dew points, and that would be over your classic tornado alley.
Yep, exactly. That's going to be the one. And after that beyond period, I think it's just going to get even more and more intense because if you look at the MJO and what it's spitting out all the way over off the west there, you can just see continuation of these troughs coming in.
Yeah, and that's why, because of this phase of the MJO, that's why the Pacific North, just the West Coast in general, they're just going to continue to get pounded by these low pressure systems.
Yep. And then we'll get the results over here in our backyard. You might get a couple setups up there where you're at potentially if those instability and dew points can go a little bit further northeast.
Yeah, that's true. Your weather's going to be real interesting here through.
I'm excited. I'm getting Rochelle a $500 camera next week.
Really? Nice.
Yep.
All right. Hey, we appreciate the input, and I'll talk to you soon.
Man.
Later.
Sounds good.
Interesting. So what he's talking about with the MJO going into phase 8, guys, we got an active MJO. This is phase 8 MJO. This is the low pressure. This is your MJO is just a big ball of moisture, okay? Big low pressure system that just kind of circles the globe every kind of season. And the MJO is setting up over the US. And what this is helping to do is just feed these storms. You can really kind of watch these storms being fed into the West Coast over and over and over again. This is one of the reasons we're going to get some setups for winter storms back across the East. This is going to help us with some cooler temperatures as well. And this is going to give us potential severe weather setups through the middle of March as well. Here's one low, another one. Here comes another one. Here comes another one. These are just funneling through back to back to back. We're going to get a lot of action once we get out of this short kind of, slow period that we're having this week. That does look like that end of the second week of March. It's super far out, but that would be a classic tornado alley setup for a tornado outbreak. The first one, which would be closer, which would be more towards next Wednesday, would be more Dixie Alley. So there's some things to watch out for. I really just wish we could fast forward 72 hours so we can have a much better understanding of exactly how this is going to play out. This is all a little bit too far out to give an accurate forecast of which one of these model runs is going to be correct and how this plays out. I don't want to give you guys any bad information yet. What's going on, Alex? Listen, it depends what model you look at. The Euro thinks Tennessee could get some snow. The GFS doesn't. It's too far out. So there's plenty of, I couldn't give you an accurate forecast right now. In a few days I could. Thank you for the follow, Cynthia. Connor's Temperature Corner, Connor's Weather Dungeon, Connor's Tornado Tundra. North Texas snow or no? Nothing in the forecast for it. Nothing in the forecast or outlook for it. That's not to say that we couldn't. We're going to get a lot of snow pushing in. Look at here. I mean, interesting, right? What happens here on the Euro? You've got mixing and snow really just to the north of the DFW. So, I wouldn't say you got no chances for snow, but most of this stuff looks like it wants to stay north. What's your gut? What's my gut telling me? My gut tells me that we're probably going to get some snow. Well, I think the snow is probably going to stay north of Tennessee. Even if we do, if we get snow into the south, I think we might get something sweeping through here and then up. I think it's going to be hard to see it down here, but I can't, confirm nor deny that. I don't have a crystal ball. I think we're seeing a lot of lows pushing through here, and our troughing is kind of being executed through here. So I think we're going to have a lot of systems that want to track like this. I think this may, we may be just in the rain shields here, including Tennessee. It's really tough to tell. Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati. Yeah, I mean, you're one of those areas that's either going to be dealing with severe weather or the chance for some back-end snow on some of these low-pressure systems next week. Me over. What's going on? I appreciate you. Thank you, Alex. Is winter over for the Cape? Oh, for Cape No, if you're in Missouri, we've been going over this. If you're in Missouri, there's chances both on the Euro and the GFS for snow. You're gonna get some more cold air as well. Definitely not over. You'll have a few more freezes here before it's all said and done. This is pivotal weather here. This is pivotal weather. One second, guys. North Central PA. Oh crap! That's what I was supposed to look for you guys. Hold up one second. I gotta find something for you. Give me 1 second, guys. I need to find something for you. I'm so busy today. I forgot to do this. Give me 1 second. One second. One second. Oh man, why did I forget to do this? I forgot I wanted to show you who's been the underperformer, who's been the overperformers. Crap. One second. Ay, ay, ay. Why did I forget this? Okay, actually, this may be good. This may be good. 1 second, guys. I gotta find this for you. This is an interesting map, and I forgot to pull it up before I got on stream. Because I'm a big dummy. Let me look for it for 1 more second. Any more snowfall for Indiana? Yeah, potentially. Probably. Honestly. Probably. Why do all these just want... Show me more than 24-hour snowfall, please. Let me look for it for 1 more second. I really wanted to pull this up for you guys. And now it's going to bother me. Here we go. I think this is... No. God, this is going to bother me. Okay. I'll just have to do it later. I'll have to do it later. I will show you guys who is the worst underperformers this year. I will. I had the map pulled up somewhere and I can't find it. King Arthur, I appreciate you. Everyone has a chance to get more snow unless you're probably in Gulf State, guys. It's February 25th. We've seen major nor'easters. We've seen major southern snow events all the way through March. So for anyone asking, is my winter done? Is my snow done? There's no way of knowing. I can tell you for sure, if you're north of this line, yes, you have a chance for more snow and very cold air. I think, especially the southeast has a chance for some very, very cold sinking air, just because our EPO is going negative, and that's going to push a lot of freezing air back down into the southeast as well. There's a possibility of snow for New Jersey next week. Yeah, the GFS wants to put a snowstorm through the mid-Atlantic up there. I'm in Florida, I have no clue. Goose. I appreciate you. Roger. Thank you, Roger. I think this winter has been too dry in Northern Illinois. Yes. One of the major, and we talked about this last stream, What are the major areas? There's two of the major areas that stood out that have underperformed this winter. We talked about this last stream, but I'll show you. This area in particular, right here, has been a big underperformer. That's Long Island through New York City, Central Jersey, through Philly, and out here, Southeastern PA. Major underperformer this year. And there's been a lot of underperformers around there too, but that area didn't. A lot of the areas around there have seen a foot over a foot this winter. This area out to the west, right here, of Chicago, major underperformer this year. There's been a foot of snow that has fallen to the northeast, south, and west of you. Not at once, just in multiple snowstorms. This area has been in a huge drought right here as well. Northern Illinois to the west of Chicago. I'll find the map and I'll show it to you guys. I was supposed to have that ready. Yeah, Central New York's going to get more snow, though. You want more than the foot of snow you just got, Sniper? Our poor farmers here. Southwest Indiana, any severe weather? Yeah, this is going to be interesting what happens with this. This could be severe weather for a lot of people. We might get a severe weather outlook through here, something like that. So, we're watching that middle of next week. Like Matt pointed out, this is super far near the end, but there's something that happens really far out here near the end of the second week of March where we could get one of your classic tornado outbreaks through Tornado Alley. Through your classic Tornado Alley. That first one looks to be Dixie Alley, though. This upcoming Wednesday. Yeah, Central New York has gotten a lot of snow. Yeah, that was awesome. And it was like soft snow, too, down there in Virginia Beach. Connecticut will probably get some more snow, yeah. Fade, what's going on? Outlook for the second week of March in New Jersey. It depends what you look at. Listen, the GFS thinks 2 major snowstorms are going to push through the Northeast. One's going to be a nor'easter. Yeah, it's a possibility. The Euro thinks both of those snowstorms stay out to the west of New Jersey. What I can tell you for sure is second week in New Jersey, we're going to get a big cold plunge into New Jersey. Second week of March, we're going to get a big cold plunge into New Jersey, into the mid-Atlantic, and we'll have the possibility of a snowstorm. So whether that comes off to the west or to the east is anyone's guess right now. We need to wait a few more days to see. Here's your latest GFS, how it treats these storms, right? So this would be some good snow for New Jersey. This would be actually big snow for Pittsburgh and New Jersey. And then, depending on how this thing travels, this would potentially be a nor'easter style storm as well. So, but that's the GFS. It's too far out. We need to get like another 72 hours in here to take that seriously. The cold air and moisture being there is completely believable, but we don't know the exact track of the storm yet. Is that going to hit Buffalo? Julie, unfortunately, I do think Buffalo is guaranteed to see another couple good snowstorms. You've got some clipper action moving through over the next couple days. I think most of that will stay north of Buffalo. This would be a good snowstorm for Buffalo, and there's a couple more right behind it. Let's look at what our Euro thinks for inland New England. Keeps you guys on the rain side of a couple of these systems, and then brings this snowstorm really far to the south. I think Buffalo's probably going to have another decent snowstorm and potentially pushing through the second week of March. You can see all this cold sinking air out here too in the Northeast. We're going to continue to get the brunt of the cold air. But again, as we move into spring, we'll see more warm-ups behind the cold air, but the cold air is still going to be sinking in right behind those warm-ups as well. Severe weather tomorrow for southern Indiana. Look at our HRRR model. Let's zoom in here. What's happening in southern Indiana tomorrow? You've got a low. Some strong winds. Some sort of a frontal boundary wanting to form. Yeah, you could get severe thunderstorms with this. What's our outlook? Yeah, I mean, this is just severe thunderstorms. You don't even have a tornado outlook. So, you know, hail and strong winds possible, but nothing, you know, outside of that, nothing major. I really wanted to show you guys this snow map, and it's bothering me that I can't find it. Me too, Julie. I love a good thunderstorm. Agreed. Let me see if I can find this map for you guys. I'm committed. I'm committed to showing you this map. No, I don't want that. Come on. Wrong one. Why do they make this so impossible to find? Let me go on to Noah. Good old Noah. Good old Noah. It's got to have the information I want. Let's go into climates. Sorry, you guys can't see what I'm doing. 1 second. Important stuff here. Climate tools. All right, that'll have to work. There we go. Maps and data, thank you. All maps and data. Okay, guys, I think I'm almost there. I think I'm almost there. Snow. What's going on, Reed? Any snow for Kansas City? On the Euro, there is some snow for Kansas City out there. Oh, here we go. Data types. Data formats. Oh, this is gonna bother me until I get off tonight that I can't find this map that I was supposed to have this stream. All right, let me do a quick stretch, guys. Quick stretch break. Listen, if anyone here is wanting me to tell you of a big southern snowstorm, it's going to be happening through the South or Central or through Long Island or through New Jersey. There's nothing in forecasting range. There's plenty of crazy snow signals. The Euro has some southern snow signals. The GFS has potential nor'easter signals in the outlook, but I'm not going to hammer that home to you guys and make you think that that's a guarantee because it's too far out. It only snows in Buffalo. I think you're right, Julie. Northern Vermont, well, you guys, there's snow in the forecast for you. You guys continue to see sinking air. I mean, Vermont already has a ton of snow, and you guys have 2 more Clipper systems moving through over the next, 72 hours? Look at the snowfall that you guys are still expected to get up here over the next 4 days. 6 inches to a foot still? Look at this snow up here. It's more in central New York. Here's what the Euro thinks, right? If we were to push forward towards March 12th. Look at this. Look where the Euro puts some of the snow. Interesting, right? Down here. You guys want to see what the GFS does with this snow on the 18Z? Just for fun. The GFS buries the Mid-Atlantic really from like Baltimore all the way up. So gives a little bit of love in the Midwest as well. Plenty of love out here in the Rockies, some in Central Plains. So plenty to watch out for. But a lot of this is happening in the beginning to happen in the second week of March, end of the first week of March. So that's why it's a little bit too difficult to talk about right now. The troughing, the cold air is coming. The storm track's difficult to tell. Ashton, no problem. I've been tracking snow, and Long Island has gotten a foot. Yeah. There's a map that shows how much everywhere has gotten, and I had it pulled up, and I lost it. Maybe I have it in my bookmarks, guys. That's why I got to take better bookmarks. Let's see. Yeah, National Weather Service. Can you please give this to me? Can you please give me the information that I'm looking for? Oh, here we go. Nope. All right, 1 second, guys. There we go. Just show us the panels for fun. I can show you the panels in a second. Yeah, I'll show you the panels in a second. Is winter over for Texas? I don't think so. No, you guys will get one more. You guys will get one or two more freezes before winter's done. Mrs. Chief, I appreciate you. Fav, what's going on? I appreciate you. Miss D. No, I don't think winter's over for Baltimore. There's not at all. Not even close. Did you get a sign that says "Do not trust the weather apps"? I'm wait. I know. I need it. I know I need it. Green Bay snow. The Euro has a promising looking winter storm for Green Bay. This would be huge snow for Green Bay. Potential blizzard-like. That'd probably be blizzard-like conditions for Green Bay. That's a 983 millibar low. That thing is packing some winds. Canadian. I'll show you what the Canadian told us. The Canadian doesn't go out as far, though. Here's what our Canadian's looking at. But the Canadian stops 240 hours. GFS. And then you've got interesting, southern snow on the Euro with our latest update. Interesting. I'm going to be annoyed if I find this map as soon as I get off stream, guys. AccuWeather, which has been accurate to me, has Southeast Maryland saying after March 10th spring. AccuWeather doesn't know what's happening after March 10th. The best meteorologist in the world doesn't know what's happening past 14 days from now. AccuWeather gets its information from the same models that we're looking at. It adjusts their predictions better in a quicker time frame than some other apps, though, which is why I like AccuWeather. But it's looking at the same thing we are. Teleconnections still don't completely agree with the deterministic models we're looking at, which has me scratching my head. But once we get out of this kind of next 72 hours, we'll have some very good model consensus on what our first half of March is going to look like. When will summer be in Green Bay? It's May. Late May. Could cold air push more south? Well, I mean, the Euro has cold air pushing very far south as we get into the second week. I mean, you can see what our European does as we get out here. You know, we're seeing temperatures in the teens up here around March 10th. We're seeing temperatures below freezing down here. So, you know, AccuWeather doesn't believe that this trough is coming right behind it, clearly, but this is the European model. This is the best model we have in the world for cold air troughing. So that's why, you know, AccuWeather, maybe we do get a ridge that sets up out here after March 10th. Maybe AccuWeather calls it right. I don't think we do. I don't think we get a ridge that sets up there after March 10th. I think we get at least one more kind of dip in cold air, but we'll, you know, it's too early to tell. If not more than one. Yeah, can't tell you what's going to happen more than 2 weeks out from now, Noah Gracie. Happy early birthday, though. No one knows where it's going to rain or snow or anything out that far. Well, there's winter weather happening in the U.S. right now up in the Pacific Northwest. There's going to be a lot more happening in New England going into this weekend. And again, as we get into the March 4th, 5th time frame, looks like we're going to have 3 troughs that want to dig one after another. So that's going to be snow chances through this region back to back to back through the second week of March. So, yeah. Chances, Jeremiah... Chances Central Georgia gets snow before the end of the winter season. Central Georgia, not very high, 1 or 2%. North Georgia, border with Tennessee, maybe you get a little bit of snow. The Euro thinks you actually do. The latest Euro run actually puts snow there, so can't discount that signal. I think we'll get cold enough. I do. Our MJO is going to affect some of this sinking cold air. So phase 8, phase 1 MJO helps with cold air out here specifically. Which is what we're moving into. I think we're already in phase 8 MJO. And then from phase 8 we go back into phase 1. It's 8 phases of the Madden-Julian oscillation. God, I want to find this map, guys. This is bothering me. Why? Oh, maybe this will show it? No. Nope. Past weather. Still not. That's going to bother me. Virginia snow? Possibly. Again, guys, I really can't answer most of your questions because if you want to know the snow that's in the forecast, that's forecastable, 120 to 96 hours, snow up here. Inner New England, Maine, maybe northern Wisconsin into northern Michigan. This is where snow's moving through right now. This is where we're dumping snow. And out in the Pacific Northwest through portions of the Rockies as well. That's forecastable snow. When everything starts to pick up, we're still about 160 plus hours out when we're going to see cold air sinking in out west. and we're going to see probably 2 to 3 winter storms moving across country. The Euro thinks maybe some come down here, some go through the middle, some go up through the Midwest. That's why I keep telling you guys, we'll even say 48 to 72 hours from now, we'll start getting some of these winter storms that look like they're going to develop into our kind of longer forecasting range, and I'll talk about them, and I'll talk about what I think the outcome is going to be. There's just too much that can change out here. There's too much that can change out here. I know this cold air is coming, and I know these winter storms are coming. I don't know where they go yet. You know? Because, yes, there's signals for North Virginia snow. Yeah, so you know, AccuWeather, I don't know, apparently has a better model than the Euro that they're looking at. There's no really better model to look at with cold air troughing than the Euro right now. You know, what's AccuWeather looking at? Maybe the GFS? The GFS shows not as big a cool down on the 10th. You know? So maybe it's looking at the GFS, but the AccuWeather app looks at these same models. And a lot of times these apps pick which ones that they think are most likely to happen, but we don't really know. You know, we look at these sometimes, and I'll do it. I'll go look over at our panels. Winter panels of all the outcomes that we could see with, you know, snow wise as we get into the second week of March. These are all the different runs that the Euro does. All of these could be possible outcomes, right? You see big snow through North Carolina here, including Charlotte. I'm going to show you some huge mountain snow, including down into Arizona and New Mexico there. North Carolina snow here, big southern snow here, potentially from Atlanta up through Charlotte, up through the Mid-Atlantic, Philadelphia, Baltimore, New York City. Major Mid-Atlantic nor'easter here, major nor'easter here, and this would be snow through Kentucky. So these are just some of the possible outcomes of things. This would be major Virginia snowstorm. A lot of these models like snow into North Carolina, which is interesting. Lots of Mid-Atlantic snow. These are, you know, there's a million different deterministic models. These are all the different outcomes that these runs see. A lot of them do see, you can see a lot of these still see potential for nor'easter through the Mid-Atlantic, some southern snow through Charlotte, North Carolina. Big snow in the Central Plains just north of Texas. Some of these models put a tiny bit of snow down into Texas still. But there's a million different outcomes. This is so far out when we're talking about the second week of March, when it comes to kind of local, you know, precipitation forecasts, that it's just too hard to tell. I want to get it, like I said, I want to get another 48, 72 hours, and then we can actually start having fun with these forecasts and really starting to nail down what I think we're going to see. Any more cold weather for South Mississippi? It depends what happens. Again, this our European model tends to be the best with cold air troughing, and it does get pretty cold down here in southern Mississippi around the 9th. But again, this is far out. This is a very vertical trough. This would be pulling a lot of very cold Canadian / Arctic air down south. So, you know, if something like this were to happen, it's possible to get snow very far south again. But this is not in our forecasting range. This is just right out in our outlook range. Chicago winter is over on Friday. No, it is not. No, it is not. Could it wobble off the coast like last time? Yeah, of course it could. That's why we're not going to really, you know, entertain it at this time frame. We've just got boring weather going on. There's nothing exciting. All the exciting stuff is basically 48 to 72 hours right out of our good forecasting range. What's going on, Megan? Done with exciting weather in the Pacific Northwest? No. You guys have some more storms moving in. Here's the latest from the Climate Prediction Center. Through March 7th, And then through March 11th. Now, this is just an average, right? So average temperatures out here. It's seas center of the country staying pretty warm. This is out through March 5th to March 11th, and then some cooler temperatures out here in the west. Snow in Charlotte again? Yeah, potentially. What's going on, Confused Blonde? Listen, the Euro sees it, but it's out of forecasting range. Are El Nino and La Nina only winter things? No. They're all year. We're going to be in like a week La Nina, Enzo neutral, likely this hurricane season, and that's probably going to pull back some of the wind shear in the Caribbean and Gulf. So we could have some strong, we could have some significant Gulf storms, hurricanes this year. When you're in an El Nino year, you have a lot more wind shear through the Gulf and a lot more wind shear through the Caribbean. That makes it tougher for these systems to develop. Now, typically the beginning of hurricane season, 80 to 90% of your tropical development happens off the west coast of Africa with tropical waves moving off the west coast, and then they make their way across the Atlantic. And we were supposed to have a very active hurricane season last year, but the first half, nothing really happened. There was a lot more Saharan dust and dry air out here, which was also causing some wind shear and issues. And so, this is where all your tropical systems happen in the beginning of hurricane season. And they couldn't predict this dust and dry air, and it was there. And it really, made for a lackluster start of hurricane season last year, or else it would have been a lot more active. You also have a high pressure out here. We call it your Bermuda high. It's kind of a permanent high pressure. Has to do with our ocean currents and whatnot. Sometimes it's sitting closer to Europe. Sometimes it's sitting closer to the States. When it's closer to the States, that's not good for us, because when it's closer to the States, say some years it's sitting like this, right? When it's closer to the States, here's what happens. Your storms form, they trek along, la 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 la. Oh, the high pressure is pulling me up, and they go like this, and they go into the States. When it's farther away from the States, it's a little bit better for us, because these storms will sometimes follow the Bermuda high. So when it's out here, what will happen a lot is with these storms in the beginning of hurricane season is they'll get pulled up by the Bermuda high and they'll shoot off like this, and they'll miss us completely. So we really have to pay attention, and we'll know this soon, of where we think our Bermuda high is going to be stationed. Is our Bermuda high going to be stationed closer to the States? If so, that's a horrible combination with what's going to be happening, because we're likely going to be in a weak La Nina, Enzo neutral. I really have to go look at what our Enzo cycle is going to be through hurricane season, but that would mean less wind shear pushing across the Caribbean and Gulf, and we'd have our Bermuda high steering our systems through there, through an area with probably close to record high ocean temperatures, low wind shear, and we'd have a Bermuda high steering these storms right into the country. So that'd be a pretty bad combination of events, which could promote an extremely above average hurricane season next year. But again, little things can change it. Does our Bermuda high set up a little bit farther? That could completely, pull all of these hurricanes in the beginning of the season, or tropical cyclones in the beginning of the season, away from the States. There's a lot to look at. But right now, our Enzo cycle makes it look like we're going to have an active hurricane season. The new Euro, thinking El Nino by summer. I got to look at our Enzo charts. I've been so busy with my 9 to 5, guys. It's been draining me. Enzo forecast. Let's see if we can look at our Enzo forecast. Oops, that's not what I meant to look at. Oh, don't give me this. I didn't look at the date. So we are... Huh. I don't know. June, August, September, October. September, October, November. That to me looks like an Enzo neutral, which is probably the worst Enzo cycle you can have if you. I mean, a La Nina could be more significant, but Enzo neutrals can create some very dangerous hurricane seasons. Remember, 2004 to 2009 when we had like the most active 5 years of hurricanes in our history and the strongest the most damaging 5 years of our hurricanes in human existence that was since we've been recording. That was Enzo neutral to weak La Nina. All of those years, 2004, 5, 6, I think 7, 9, the big ones. Enzo neutral weak La Nina. So I don't know. It's pointing towards updated February 13th, pointing towards an Enzo neutral. Enzo cycles don't mean much anymore. Not a good weather predictor. All right, I'd have to disagree. They're not perfect. They're right more than they're wrong. When you're talking about outlooks in meteorology, where it's people get surprised when outlooks are wrong. I'm never surprised when outlooks are wrong. If you were to take a look at the big picture at the end of the season, outlooks are actually closer to being right than they are wrong most of the time, but everyone always remembers when they're wrong. Yeah. We know for a fact that if we're in a strong El Nino year, our jet stream is whipping through the Mediterranean. Through the Caribbean. I don't know why it's the Mediterranean. I'm just thinking of a trip to Europe, I guess. Let's get me out of here. Yeah, we know, again, if the waters are extremely warm off the coast of Ecuador, off the coast of Central America, we know that jet stream is going to be locked in and we're going to have good wind shear through there. So a strong El Nino we've seen consistently help us with weaker hurricane, less damaging hurricanes in the Gulf. All of our most damaging years have typically been Enzo neutral weak La Nina years. Joe, I appreciate that. Midwest Wisconsin looking like a big storm next week. Yeah. There's one thing, if you want to see a big winter storm, I'd say this is the place to be, because some of our models bring the snow here, some of it bring the snow here, some of it bring the snow here. But if you want to take the average of what we see happening, this area here looks like it's in for something. So probably even more to the north, but this area here is in for something. New England's going to get some good snow. The GFS likes snow out here on the coast. But the Canadian and Euro agree more with Midwestern snow. So, probably leaning towards that right now, but again, 180 hours out, there's so much that can change. Maybe I'll lean, maybe as we get into this weekend, I'll be leaning way more towards the coastal snowstorm type situation. It's possible. Severe weather in Alabama. Yeah, our first severe weather we're really looking at is this event right here, which would be probably somewhat significant for Alabama. Middle of next week, Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, we got to watch that. Definitely. Who's your favorite sibling? The Tundra, the Temperature, or the Dungeon? Connor's Weather Dungeon. I don't know. It sounds. It's. I don't know. There's something about that name. Tornado Tundras. The Three Amigos. Is the Southern Snow in La La Land? I wouldn't say the Southern Snow's completely in La La Land. We see it starting to develop around the 200-hour frame here. I would say like Super La La Land is probably like here. Sometimes you get something that develops here and you can hold that signal for a while. But again, like forecasting range, we're talking about like in here. We want to be like in here for good forecasting range. This is like, oh, there's a signal we'll pay attention to. And then this is like, probably not going to happen. Time frame. All right, guys. I got to get off. Listen, whether I like going into a lot more details and being like, this is going to happen. Here's my prediction. I need all this stuff to get 48 hours closer, 72 hours closer, because I just know for a fact that we're going to see some big swings in what the GFS Canadian Euro thinks going to happen. I'm also not seeing any agreement, like I've been saying, with these deterministic runs and what I'm seeing with our European ensemble and our GFS ensemble teleconnections. And it's throwing me for a loop. Spring can be very difficult to forecast. The transitioning of the seasons, there's a lot more going on typically than if you're in deep summer, deep winter. But we're going to get down to the bottom of it. And I promise you, in tomorrow's video, oh man, I have to remember this. I got to write it down. I got to make an alarm. I'm going to show you the snow accumulation map of what we've seen so far this year. And I will show you who the biggest winner so far of this winter is and who the biggest loser is of this winter so far. Promise you. Flower, what is popping? Good to see you, Flower. But I need to go to bed. It's going to be a long week. I'll post that video tomorrow, and I will be back on live tomorrow, guys. Joe, I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys being in here. Thank you to anyone who gifted, followed, sub. Anyone who's just hanging out in here. Everyone have a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you.